Okay, I believe we are recording and we are live and good to go. And I want to say good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? It's Thursday night, December, I think it's the 17th. Golly, I believe it's the 17th. We're a week away from Christmas, and it's just such a beautiful holiday season. I was out shopping yesterday, and there was snow on the ground and Christmas music, and I absolutely love it. It's my favorite time of year. I want to thank you for coming and joining us tonight, allowing us to come into your living room. I know that we are busy and we're getting ready for the holidays, and so I just want to say thank you so much. And I promise we're going to have a short evening here, and I'm going to make it worth your time. All righty. So what we're going to be doing, my name is Lori Charette. I'm in Denver, Colorado, and have been partnered up with our company, Lifevantage, for 8 years as of the 12th. I couldn't be more excited than today to be partnered up with this company than I was 8 years ago. The excitement continues to grow. The wows keep coming. The relationships in the community keep growing. This company keeps getting better and better and better. And that's why I'm here to share that with you. I was so grateful that somebody showed up in my life. It was a total stranger came to me and shared this with me, and I'll share a little bit more details about that later. But tonight we're going to be talking about flipping switches. And it's going to sound a little weird. What? Flipping switches? We'll explain that a little bit. But what I want to do is I think I want to go ahead and do that. We're going to share a 6-minute video. It's about 6 minutes, and they're going to talk about flipping switches. And the reason why I'm going to share a video is because we have a very complicated technology, very important technology with our products. And this way it's a little bit more visual and it's a little bit easier explained, so you can connect the dots, and then we'll connect afterwards, okay? So let me share my computer screen and let's get that video ready to go.
What if it was as simple as flipping a switch? Well, it is. There's a mountain of scientific research that points to 3 powerful genetic switches in the human body that can make all the difference. The answers are on the inside. It's not about what you're taking, but rather what you are making. Let me say it this way. It's not so much about what products or supplements you are taking, but more about what your body is making. Think activation versus supplementation. And flipping the switch is what activates your body's own genetic health mechanisms. Turning on these 3 genetic pathways, yes, flipping the switch, unlocks the power of your genetic code and can change everything. By the age of 30, the normal aging process has already kicked in. These pathways naturally slow down and will continue to do so over the course of your life. Unless you do something about it, unless you flip the switch. Science has finally proven you can flip the switch and has also revealed how. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. That time is now. The first switch is NRF2. NRF2 is a protein found in every cell, but it only works when turned on. Think of NRF2 as protection. This is the switch that turns on over 200 survival genes in the human body. This is why over the past 5 years, there have been over 10,000 studies on the health benefits of NRF2, showing that it is a master regulator of detoxification and antioxidant response, dramatically reduces oxidative stress, provides advanced cellular protection, and is critical for health span, the period of time you remain healthy. A recent peer-reviewed study from Washington State University states that NRF2 activation may very well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. This study also states that flipping the NRF2 switch is likely to be the most important health promoting approach into the foreseeable future. The second switch is NRF1. NRF1 is a protein that has the ability to activate the power of your mitochondria. Think of NRF1 as energy. This is the switch that has an impact on every function in your body. The latest in scientific research is pointing to the mitochondria as essential for health, especially over the long term. Mitochondria power everything in your body, from your heartbeat to your brain cells. In fact, they produce up to 95% of the energy your body uses every second of every day. There are over 74,000 scientific studies researching the effects mitochondria play in your health. Sounds powerful, but as you get older and experience oxidative stress from normal everyday life and the aging process, your mitochondria function declines significantly. The solution is NRF1. NRF1 protects, restores, and supports the mitochondria and activates your body's ability to turn this power source on. The third switch is NAD. NAD is a molecule found in all living cells and is critical for regulating cellular aging and maintaining proper function of the whole body. Think of NAD as vitality. Dr. David Sinclair of Harvard Medical School and author of Lifespan was recently quoted in Time magazine regarding NAD, saying, "It's one of the most important molecules for life to exist, and without it, you're dead in 30 seconds." He continues, "NAD is the closest we have gotten to the fountain of youth." NAD is that important switch that activates your inner youth. Increase of energy, better mood, and better mental focus have been linked to an increase in NAD. Starting at the age of 20, a decline begins and the levels of NAD diminish significantly over time. Depending on your age, chances are that you could be watching this video at only 40% of your NAD potential. But there is a solution. You can flip this switch too. And once it's turned on, you will feel supercharged, hyper-focused, in the zone, and keyed up. Supporting NAD levels is an important part of fighting age-related decline. Protection, energy, vitality. Pro-Tandem Tri-Synergizer is the solution to flipping the switch, activating these three powerful genetic pathways: NRF2, NRF1, and NAD. Individually, these three products provide life-changing results. But the most recent research shows a staggering increase in effectiveness, increasing these pathways up to 1,900%. How? By taking these three powerful products together. Pro-Tandem Tri-Synergizer. Protection, energy, vitality.
Like, are you saying wow yet? Holy cow. I was saying wow 8 years ago, you guys, and like I said.
And I believe we're going. Yeah, we're recording. Awesome. Hey, I want to welcome everybody tonight.
Looks like we've got something else coming in here. Hold on. I don't know if y'all heard that. Sorry. It looked like the second video is playing. Anyway, 8 years ago, I was saying wow, and literally the wows keep coming, just like I said. And, you know, when you hear protection, cellular protection, activation, and feeling tired and all of that kind of stuff, it's like, can you start to connect the dots and feel like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I'm kind of feeling like that. Like, are you in a point now where you're feeling stresses? You know, we're in a situation right now where there are a lot of stresses that are going on, right? We've got all kinds of job related stresses, relationship stresses, financial stresses, health stresses. There's all kinds of things that are happening, and they all impact our body, right? They all surface and come out in different ways. And so there's a lot of things that we can't control. So we want to really focus on the things that we can, right? And so if we can protect ourselves, then wouldn't we want to do that, right? And if we can do it naturally, then it makes sense to do that. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that, but that was the Tri-Synergizer. Those are our core activation products. And let's see, I think I'm going to share my screen again. Sorry. Okay, so what we want to do is we just want to really share the difference between activation and supplementation. You know, we're at a stage now where most people are trying to do something, right? I remember back, you know, if you remember back 30, 40, and 50 years ago, of course, not all of us remember that far back, but if you remember that far back, or your parents, you can have a conversation with them. You know, when kids were little back then, we didn't have kids that were sick with cancer. We didn't have kids that had diabetes and had autism. Those things weren't happening. Why? Because we had a much healthier environment, right? And now with all of the stresses, whether it's technology, whether it's our food, whether it's the water, the air, you know, all the things that we are connected with and exposed to now, there's a lot of toxins, right? On top of the stresses that we add on top of it, on top of that, right? And so we literally need to be doing something, and most of us are. But what we're familiar with is supplementing. And when we understand supplementation, it's like a Band-Aid, right? We're going after the symptoms, and what we want to do is we want to go in and go after the systems, right? Doesn't it make sense to get to the root cause? That makes more sense. And we can do that. They just shared the NRF2 pathway, activating the NRF2 pathway. And again, NRF2 is a protein that communicates with every one of our cells. When we can turn that on, then it's designed to increase the production of our antioxidants and give us that cellular protection. But it does it in a very powerful way. The supplement option is a 1-to-1 ratio, but the activation option is a 1,000,000-to-1 ratio. That's why we say, wow, right? So it's pretty exciting. It's a simple way. It's natural. And the neat thing about it is it's backed by science. It's backed by studies and tons of validation. We have 32 peer-reviewed studies. And it's not just exciting to know that we have what I call these bragging rights, but it's what's being said outside of the company that we get really excited about as well, because it's now being studied across the world. And, you know, you saw them state the Washington State University study. They read that, and it's like, you know, NRF2 may well become the most therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. That's pretty profound, right? And because of those studies, because of that validation, you know, we have over hundreds and thousands of doctors and healthcare professionals that are partnering up with this company simply because of that validation. So there's something to it, right? I encourage you just to literally get with the person that invited you and make sure that you ask more questions, right? Get more information. This is information that's going to benefit you, but it's also going to benefit the people that you know and care about. I just encourage you, you know, as you're listening through this, is just think of the people that you know that can benefit from this information. I love the fact that it's just information. We simply are educating the difference here, okay? So I'm going to share with you how we got started very briefly. Our flagship product, NRF2, that they just talked about in that video, was actually in GNC and CVS. It was in 10,000 retail stores, sitting on the shelves all by itself, and nobody knew what it was. You know, it's like the label, you couldn't educate from the label. The label didn't explain what it couldn't possibly with that type of technology, right? It couldn't educate from the label. And so if you happen to find it, you still wouldn't know what it was. But ABC Primetime Investigation, they did an expose on the product. We had a study that came out that said that this flagship product, Protandim NRF2, reduces this thing called oxidative stress. What's oxidative stress? toxic free radical damage, the same thing that we were talking about, that stuff that attacks your cells, damages your cells. It's like rusting from the inside out. And it lowers that oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days in all mammals. And I don't know if you remember that show, but that show used to go to companies and businesses, and they used to go to expose them. They would go and on live TV, and they would prove them wrong, right? And we used to watch it. We were like engulfed in it because they were like an advocate for us, right? They were the voice for us, and we wanted to see. But it was an all positive report. John Quinones stood the test, and in 2 weeks, it lowered his oxidative stress by 45%, you guys. It was more than what the study even said. And so when that aired, that kind of was its first introduction to the public. And the company got like $5 million worth of orders overnight, just on sheer speculation on what they saw. And if you'd like to see that ABC investigative report, you can reach out to the person that invited you, and they will share that with you. It's pretty intriguing. And so what happened is the company understood that mode of distribution, those 10,000 retail stores, you think that's exposure, right? It wasn't getting the proper attention. It wasn't working. So they reached out to an advisor and said, look, what do we need to do here? We can clearly see people want to know, right? They want this product. And so they said it needs to be mouth-to-mouth distribution. Boy, isn't that what we do every day? I'm telling my friends about everything that I enjoy all the time. So that kind of makes sense. The company said, gosh, that sounds like network marketing. And we got to tell you, we're not sure that we're comfortable with that mode of distribution, right? We don't know if we want that stigma attached to our product and our company. So they were a little bit hesitant, a lot hesitant, actually, like some of you might have thought, right? However, they challenged the company. And what they did is they took that ABC investigative report and they went out there and they shared it. And then they educated, like we're doing right here, to connect the dots. And literally in 6 months, they outsold by 300% of what they did in those 10,000 retail stores. People wanted to know. So the company understood that they needed to change their mode of distribution. And in 2009, we became a network marketing company. And I tell you, I have never been a part of this industry before. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had multiple businesses, but I've never participated in this industry before. I never had a preconceived thought about it. But what happened to me is this time 10 years ago, where a lot of you, it might have happened to you, we were part of the economy decline, right? There was a big crash. And it was massively stressful, kind of like what we're facing today, right? And in that time, I actually, as a single mom, again, I had my own business, I actually lost everything. I lost my business. I lost my home. I lost my car. I lost my retirement. I lost my insurance. I lost everything, everything. And it was devastating, to say the least. And that path kind of took me in a very interesting direction, trying to move forward, trying to figure out what to do. And I was in Florida, that's where I'm from. And I ended up in South Dakota just to get work. We couldn't get work. Does some of those conversations, are you guys hearing people have those conversations today? They can't find work, right? I ended up in South Dakota. We opened up, my daughter and I opened up a salon, opened up another business, thought opening up another business was the way to go, right? Thought this was my fresh start, thought that I was going to be protected. And I wasn't. Literally in 18 months, we got word that there was a bigger company that was going to come into that space that we were in, and we were booted out. We were only 18 months new. And my business, or my life, I'd already lost everything. That was my restart. Can you imagine the devastation that I was feeling at the time? To say I was on my knees praying is an understatement. I was in deep prayer. I was desperate. And there was some people that came into our salon. Again, they were strangers. And they shared this with me. And I was so intrigued by what I heard, because do you remember I said I didn't have insurance for the first time in my life? I needed cellular protection, right? I couldn't afford to get sick. So that was just a no-brainer. Cellular protection, 1-to-1 ratio or 1,000,000-to-1. Which one did I want, right? So that was easy. But then I got really passionate about what I learned and how important this was and what it was doing for other people and the things that we have seen, what we've learned, what we've heard. You can't hear this information. And I got to tell you guys, once you hear this, you can't unhear it. Once I learned this information and saw the things that I saw, I had to tell people, I had to share it. And I decided to partner up with the company. And again, that was 8 years ago. It totally changed my stars. And I share that with you tonight because I think it's very important for us to really make an assessment on where we are today. And the people that we all know people that are facing some very difficult challenges right now, whether it be health or whether it be financial, right? People are either losing their jobs or their hours are being cut, they're sent home. All kinds of issues have arisen during this time. And probably the number one search is how to work from home. That's the number one search. And I want to say that I think what people are trying to do is they're trying to figure out how to generate cash flow from home. And I was hopeless. And this was my hope. And I really feel that there's a strong drive and desire in me to make sure that I can share that with each and every one of you. I really want you to think of, who do you know? Because we all know somebody at this time that's going through some challenges. And if we can offer hope, especially during this time of year, right? My anniversary date is 12/12/12. Please don't let the month of December get in the way. Don't feel like this is not a time to share an opportunity to offer hope to somebody, because that's what made all the difference for me. So I share my story just because I think it's just will resonate with a lot of people with where they are today, or someone you know, right? So I'm gonna just share just a little bit more here. You know, we have a small product line, but we have a very strong science-based product line. I'm not going to go into detail on each and every one of them. I really do want you to reach out to the person that invited you and really sit down and have a conversation with them. But you can see that these products, they were all were stemmed off of our flagship NRF2 Pretandem, okay? And you can see non-GMO, all natural, no artificial colors, no artificial sweeteners. These are clean products. They're so clean that the majority of them are on the BSCG, Banned Substance Control Group. So you know that they are pure. I always say you can tell the purity of the products. But we're in these areas: anti-aging, weight management, energy, skincare. All of these things are very, very strong in sales right now. And we have a piece of each of those markets. So I highly encourage you to get a little bit more details, a little bit more information, and just know that all of these are activation products, okay? And what I really want to do is just share a little bit more about what it looks like to partner up with the company, and just, you know, make sure that, again, you have that conversation with the person that invited you. I know I keep saying that, but you're just getting a piece of the information here tonight, okay? But I brought up our earned income statement, you guys. This is something that, it's a legal document. We are a publicly traded company. And by law, we actually have to share the actuals of what's being paid out to our business partners, our distributors. And, you know, normally we kind of we highlight the three, you know, that low range and the mid range and the high range. But I really want to focus on that mid range because of where we are today, because of some of the circumstances and challenges that people are facing. And what if, right? What if we could make, you know, work this on the side. This is something that you're able to do without disrupting what you're currently doing. But who isn't thinking about a plan B, right? Because we learned that in a snap of a finger, we can be shut down. So are you thinking about a plan B? Perhaps you're thinking about a plan A, right? And most people that starts as their plan B, it turns into their plan A, which is what happened to me. I was working a full-time job. I was sharing and educating like I'm doing right here. I was doing that part-time for 2 years, and I reached that tipping point. And then it became my plan A. So just know what the potential is, okay? So, Pro 4, Pro 5, Pro 6, you're looking at an average income of $1,400, $3,000, or $6,000. Who do you know? Please, from the bottom of your heart, we are trying to reach as many people as we can, and we really can't get to them all without getting through you. Okay, so we're hoping this speaks to you, but if not, we absolutely believe that there's somebody that you know that can benefit from this information. Okay, and that's why we're coming to you live tonight. So what we have here is, again, just a little bit of information, about the company. Our company is a publicly traded company. We had a very eventful year. One of the highlights was that we were able to ring the closing bell on the NASDAQ. And that was so exciting. But is that validation? Does that kind of tell you a little bit of credibility about this company? The other thing is who do you know, or how many of you have seen the movie Erin Brockovich with Julia Roberts? And if you understand that movie, you know that she's an environmental activist, right? And so she actually researched us, and she has become and partnered up with our company and with our board of directors. She's the first and only female that is part of our board of directors. We're really excited about that, to have somebody who is an activist like she is, and, looking to protect, right? So I think that really speaks volumes. You can see some of the studies and some of our shareholders here. These are people that are familiar, or entities that are very familiar to you, right? I mean, gosh, you guys, the American Heart Association, Harvard, Texas Tech, right? These are all part of those peer-reviewed studies that we talked about. So in closing, I just want to ask or share a couple things. As I mentioned, I've had multiple businesses. And after I lost everything and I started another business, we always think that we are going to have control if we could have our own business, right? If we can open our own business. But we're not thinking, maybe because we're not thinking network marketing, right? We're not thinking about all of the extras that come with it, right? There's so much, I know. I mean, just to open a business, that's you can't do that usually under $50,000. And you know what? Why would we open a business today? Because they keep telling us we have to shut it down or close the doors. I was out yesterday, and it's like we're shopping over here across the street, but we go over here across the street and to eat, and they let you go in and order your food, but you have to go outside. So they're watching the people indoors over here, but they can't have anybody over here. It's a little bit crazy out there. So, they're very uncertain times. And again, we can control what we can control. Well, we have an opportunity that we can get started. Look at this, you guys. We can get started with zero inventory, with zero overhead, we don't have to worry about employees, right? We've got a very low entry cost. The product kits are amazing. You get these, and this is, you really need to connect with the person that shared this with you or invited you tonight, because the business kits are just the products. They're the products that you want to put in your body and that you want to share and get your family on. Well, when you make that decision to partner up with the company, you get this really big, it's like over 30% discount on those products that you want to get anyway. And then by default, you're set up to share. So I really, really encourage you to have that conversation, because a lot of people, just because they know that they're going to be on the product anyway, and if you want to get your family on it, well, why not get the discount? You get a one-time opportunity to take advantage of that discount, right? But the timing of where we are is huge. Again, have that conversation. We're at the cusp of going into momentum. And that is amazing. I've never been invited to an opportunity that hasn't gone into momentum yet. And what that means is once it does, anybody that's partnered up with the company, before it goes into momentum, will be able to participate in 85% of the growth of the company. Would you like to have a piece of that, right? We're so excited. It's nice to know that I've already become an elite member of this company. Which means you can be successful before momentum, right? Think of what's going to happen afterwards. Now's the time. The time couldn't be any better, right? We have third-party validation available at all times. So this isn't something that you have to repeat and know what I'm sharing right now. You get to reach out because we do this together as a team. You can see there's a picture here. We do it via Zoom. We've been using Zoom before Zoom was popular, right? Because of the lockdown. This is how we've been building our business. We can be in anybody's living room at any time all over the world. And we are. So we can utilize third-party validation, third-party phone calls, and we will help you. We always say if you try to do this by yourself, it doesn't work. It's designed to be done together as a team. That's kind of exciting, right? And that's why we have such an awesome community. We do it together. Do we get to do that in our traditional business? I don't remember doing that in our traditional business. I remember us stepping over on top of each other, right? The retention with our product sales, with our customers, is extremely high and unusual. The thing about that, you guys, is 90%, 85, 90% of our business is customers, product users. You just saw why. You saw the importance of those products and people want on them. There's nothing else out there that do what they do. We have retention, right? So there's a strong stability in the company. Again, we're publicly traded. You saw let me just share here, who we have that's attached to this company. There's international expansion, and gosh, right now I don't even know the number of countries that we're in. I'm just going to do the highlights here, you guys, and definitely, get together with the person that invited you. You know the routine, right? We have proven corporate leadership. We have a simple system that has been set up to make it a push and play opportunity to share. It is so awesome. We have two opportunities. Remember, the product opportunity and the opportunity to partner up with this company and generate some cash flow from home. Change your life, right? It offers freedom. Freedom for what? Freedom to go do what you want with who you want, when you want, right? It's so amazing, you guys. It means if I'm working from my computer, I can be anywhere at any time. That's freedom, right? Freedom to raise your children at home, right? To be home to raise your children. Think of that, right? What is it that you would like to have, or what does freedom mean to you? So I mentioned team, I always say that our team is our largest tool in the toolbox. It's amazing. Scientifically backed products with patents. I mentioned that earlier. The science keeps coming, you guys. When I first started, there was 14 peer-reviewed studies. I think we're up to 32 now, but that's what our studies are. Again, there's tons and tons and tons of other studies that are out there. You can go to PubMed, P-U-B-M-E-D, pubmed.gov, and just look up NRF2. Look up oxidative stress. Better yet, look up oxidative stress and diabetes and heart and Lyme and autism, right? You're going to be surprised. There's going to be a ton of studies that will come up and they will connect the dots on how oxidative stress is connected, okay? So it's pretty exciting. And the other fun thing is you get to earn while you learn. Now, if you went to college, it wasn't like that. Whatever your profession was, You had to have that degree, that diploma, that education before you could start getting paid. Here, we share. I don't have to know all the details about this. I can say, oh my gosh, I just heard something exciting, and I think you're going to be excited too. If not, you're definitely going to know somebody who can benefit from this, but I got to connect you to the person that just shared this with me. Did you get that? That's it. That's how we share, and that's how we educate together. So cool, right? And then you learn as you go, you learn as you go. And the cool thing is you're not just learning about the products, you're not just learning about the science and the company, you're learning about this industry, you're learning about you. The personal growth that's attached to this is so profound on who and what you grow and become through network marketing, you guys. Oh, it's so amazing. It's so beautiful. So I'm going to close. I'm going to wind it up and just, ask yourself at this point. So you can share this with the person that invited you. Let them know what you're thinking. Am I interested? I would like to get some more information. Let them know. They can connect you and share a lot of details, a lot of information, some other videos, anything that you need. One-on-one conversation, we're here for you, okay? Perhaps you've heard enough information at least to say, holy smokes, yeah, I got stress going on in my body. Yeah, I want my cells protected. I'm ready to become a customer. And so you reach out to the person that shared this with you and let them know you're ready to get started on the products. And oh, let me share this with you. As a customer, we have a customer referral program. And what that looks like is once you get started on these products, and I'm sure you're going to get started on NRF2 because everyone does. Everyone who's breathing needs to be have an NRF2 activator. But what is going to happen is if you start to have an experience or you start to learn more and start to hear and see what the benefits are, and you're going to know, I want my family on this. I want my friends and neighbors to hear about this. And if you do, and you say, oh my gosh, I got to share with you something that I just heard. If you're a customer and you connect them with the person that shared this with you to help educate, and they say, heck yeah, I want to be on that too, then you get to give them $10 off of their first order. That's kind of cool, right? As a customer, you get to give them $10 off. And what will happen is that following month, you will have $10 in your bank off of your next product purchase. So what if you got your brother, sister, and mother on? It all counts. You get to give each of them $10 off, and you have accumulated $30 off towards your product. It's kind of cool, right? We call it give 10, get 10, all right? So just know that you have that as a customer. I think that's really cool. We've got you set up to share. But if you are looking at this a little bit more and saying, gosh, I want to look at a plan B. I need a plan A. I want to be able to control some of the things that I can control, right? I'd like to see about generating some cash flow from home. Have that conversation, please, with the person that invited you. You may want to partner up with our company and find yourself sharing these products and this science and this opportunity with the people that you know and love. So just let them know where you stand. And I just really want to, oh my goodness, I had a big Christmas special on here, Merry Christmas on here. You know what, I do want to highlight this picture really quick. Often we say, partnering up this company and gaining that financial freedom, that time freedom, right? You get to create a life on your terms, working from home and being your own boss. But what I really want to highlight right now, and what's so important to me, that I'm just on a mission to make sure that I can get this information out to as many people as possible, is we're changing people's lives. And right now there are people on their knees. So don't keep this to yourself. Even if you may say, it might not be for me. If that's the case, Who do you know? Because there are people praying and we know them, right? So you guys have a Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, get back to the person. I love that I've said that a trillion times. Get back to the person that invited you here. Give them a big squeeze because they love you. All righty. Thank you so much.